Hello, 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 hello. Are we on? Yes, we did it. Sorry about that. It's always like the weird, changeover thing. And I'm like, we totally have it down. We literally, it's like, because we know there's a lag between streams. It's, happy hour, and I'm like, okay, DJ Fox, text me now. But he texts me, if I'm on it just a little too quick, then I try to start streaming before Twitch thinks that happy hour's done. And ooh, is there reverb? Oh God. Hold on, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, how's that? Come on, I just wanted you, it's Comic-Con weekend. I wanted it to sound epic, like I'm coming to you from a, I don't know, a cave, a big concert hall, anyway, yes, power voice is what I was going for, maybe a little churchy, yes, totally. Anyway, okay, sorry, it was like, a little bit of a rough start there, DJ Fox is like, now, and I'm like, click, 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 and I was like, it won't go, but here we are. I'm so, thank you guys so much for sticking around for the changeover. Sometimes it just goes so smooth, and other times it's like that. But hey, that's how you know that this is live, right? This is live. Live streaming. Welcome, everyone, to the Bootie Mashup channel. This is our one token just chatting live stream. We're mostly a DJ channel. We do DJ sets, we do theme parties, but we wanted to have one stream that we could actually leave as a VOD that is not exactly muted. So this is why we do Mashup Talk, and it's usually just it's sort of started off with me interviewing our DJs, whoever was going to be DJing on Friday night. I would interview them, and now it has totally devolved into literally, it's not even I used to say this was like a podcast / talk show style show. No, this is not that at all. This is literally just chatting, which you guys seem to appreciate and you like. And so anyway, I am the pirate queen of this crazy pirate ship that we call Bootie Mashup. And we've been now on Twitch for 4 months, and we are still not partnered, damn it, and I don't know why, but that's neither here nor there. No, it's here. Why are we not partner yet? Anyway, every weekend, as you probably know, we do theme parties. And this is sort of like mirrors how we do Bootie Mashup in real life. Especially when we first started Bootie Mashup, it was just like, hey, let's have a party and let's play mashups. But after several years of doing that, then we decided, it's fun to do themes. I mean, we throw parties. This is what we do. So theme parties are always a blast. So we started doing themes. Of course, the evolution of our Twitch channel has been like the evolution of Bootie Mashup, the IRL party, but on a much more accelerated time frame. So here it is 4 months in, and we're like, oh yeah, every weekend is going to be a theme party. And normally this week would be Comic-Con. By the way, everyone, is this the only time that I can get away with using Comic Sans and have it be okay? Is it okay? I mean, it's not okay. We all know Comic Sans is almost never okay. But I know it's still not acceptable. It really is. It's never allowed. But I wanted to troll you guys a little bit, and I wanted to do, God damn it, it's Comic-Con weekend. I am doing Comic Sans for the title. So yes, it is Comic-Con weekend. We are throwing themed Comic-Con parties. Basically, we've DJ'd. Bootie Mashup has DJ'd a few Comic-Cons. We did entertainment weeklies. I forget what they called it, but it was like the con that was sort of not quite inside the con, it was outside. And then we did in 2016, we did the Nerdist Carnival at Petco Park. This is all at International, Comic-Con International in San Diego. And Jupiter Gatling and I were totally planning to go to Comic-Con. It would have been my 5th year, would have been her 2nd or 3rd. And of course, we were going to like try to get a DJ gig and everything else. But then, of course, there was this little thing called the Corona Apocalypse. Yeah. So much for that. But here we are. I've been participating in Comic-Con at home. Been tuning into a few panels. And we, of course, on our Twitch channel are basically, this is as if we were doing a Comic-Con party in San Diego, I don't know where, for somebody. And this is what we would play. It's going to be a lot of mashups and a lot of really geek flavored mashups. And if you like geek flavored mashups, then I highly recommend, here it is, free downloads and streaming at bootiemashup.com. Go to bootiemashup.com. We just released a double album of geek flavored mashups. It's called Booty Goes Geek, and it's a double album, even though I know in the streaming age, does album even mean anything? But you could conceivably take the two halves and burn them to a CD and listen to them in your car if you wanted to. If you want to be old school that way. But Jupiter Gatling compiled the first disc, The Adventure Begins, and I compiled the second, Booty Goes Geek 2, Mashup Boogaloo. And it is 38 mashups of all super, super geeky mashups, super fun, and of course, all free downloads, free streaming, download, whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do. We didn't pay for the copyright clearances, so neither should you. That's pretty much how we work here. Wow. So thank you all for joining me. This is, I know why you're really here. As I was saying before, it used to be like I would interview our DJs and stuff. And then now it's like sort of turned into Jupiter Gatling, myself. I'm Adriana A, by the way. Maybe DJ Time, maybe one of our DJs, and we just sort of shoot the shit for an hour. And then Jupiter Gatling had this idea. I was like, well, it's Comic-Con week. And you know who we always run into at Comic-Con? Or, I mean, always, but, often. And that's some people we know named Matt and Marisha. Actually, I don't think I've ever run into Marisha at Comic-Con. I've definitely run into Matt. Usually we see them either at a Bootie Mashup party in LA or at Burning Man. And here's the funny story of Bootie Mashup's connection with Critical Role. Before 3 months ago, I didn't know there was a connection because I barely knew about Critical Role. I was like, but I've known Matt and Marisha. I mean, they asked me to DJ their wedding, and sadly I couldn't, but DJ Erison did, so I was like holding down, it's like, I know that Bootie Mashup's one of their favorite parties because I see them all the time, and I've been invited by their camp at Burning Man to DJ for them on one of their art cars. Actually, I think their only art car, the Sensatron, and so it's like my connection with them is Burning Man, mostly Burning Man, and then also seeing them at Bootie Mashup parties in LA, and running into the Maybe at Comic-Con. And then it wasn't until like, what are critters? Why are all these critters coming into our chat pod here? It's like, I don't even know what that means. What is a critter? Well, don't worry, Twitchiverse, Twitchelvania, Twitchopolis, we got schooled. I got schooled. And so I think it's hilarious that it was like, oh yeah, I remember running into them at Comic-Con. And I was like, oh yeah, we do this Dungeons and Dragons thing, like a live streaming thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. No idea. No idea. So Jupiter was like, well, it's Comic-Con weekend. Why don't you just like, shoot them a message and see if they want to like, jump into Mashup Talk and have a little chat. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. They're gonna say no, but I'll ask. And shockingly, nope. We're gonna do this. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for Matthew, Mercer, and Marisha Ray from Critical Role to appear on our stupid little Twitch channel here on my stupid little Mashup Talk show called, appropriately enough, Mashup Talk? I don't even really know what we're going to talk about. It's going to be just sort of like as if I ran into them at Comic-Con, or like, little chat at the club or at Burning Man. Let's do this. Let's get our little Skype here and giving them a call right now. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, and there we are.
Hey!
Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you two.
Hi.
And you look,
you.
I will say this, you look cleaner than when I normally see you guys.
Yeah, I think we're going to be a little less dusty and dirty this summer,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
like,
sad.
I have my hair curled.
Oh, wow.
That's
Your hair.
don't normally get that.
Your hair looks great. The only reason I'm cosplaying Rogue is because my blonde roots here are like getting so grown out. And Rogue has that Shaka blonde with the red. So I'm like, okay.
You look amazing.
Oh, well,
So
thank you.
good.
It's Comic-Con. Had to do cosplay. I was wondering if you guys were going to do some sort of cosplay or something, but
We're
Cosplaying
going,
as ourselves at
a
convention.
Comic-Con attendee.
oh yes, you got your
that are
laminates.
badges.
God, I always do the badge like on the side because I never want it to like. I got sick of doing this. Get stopped for a photo and it's like, oh wait.
Yeah, you gotta turn around.
You got to hide that.
Exactly.
Shit. If
Ruins
it's just yourself,
photos.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and you guys like pretty much have been at like Comic-Con for years now, right? Like every year. Like this would have been like what, your 10th year or something?
I probably like 9 or 10 for me. For you, it's like
It would
20.
have been my 24th.
Wow. Damn.
So,
Are you missing it? Are you having like some separation anxiety?
I am. I kind of miss, but at the time, I miss being able to just slam district where it's just so chaotic.
It's crazy. Yeah.
There's and just wander the floor and panels are happening, and that's the main thing. It's more like a social hub for us.
Yeah.
Where a lot of our geek-centric friends all go there from industry and just general friendships and contacts, and it's kind of sad that we don't have that this year.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more of an introvert, so Comic-Con often I get overwhelmed very easily. But now that it's not here, I'm like,
oh. Yeah. My very first Comic-Con, I was just like, oh God, everyone warned me about this, and now I'm like, I'm good. I've definitely got like a whole way I do it. But Matt, the way you talk about Comic-Con is the way I talk about Burning Man. Where I was just like, oh, it's not what it used to be, but all my friends are there.
It's true. Man's kind of been that for me as well. Like I haven't been going as long as you have by any means, but I've watched. I still believe in a lot of it, and a lot of the good things that still remain. So it's just finding your right people, finding your experience, and Comic-Con is very similar kind of cultural union of people and ideas together.
Yeah. It's all the little traditions that I miss, getting a drink at the top of the Marriott, breakfast with a certain crew, it's all little things that makes everyone's Comic-Con experience their own and individual. And it's like, that's what I'm missing.
Right. Yeah, it's sad, but hopefully next year. I mean, there's obviously we can pretty much write this entire year off. This year's like just a dumpster fire.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Oh my. But I'm glad you guys were able to get Critical Role back up and pardon the pun, rolling.
That's our in the production months trying to figure out how to make it work in a way where we could stay safe and healthy and distinct and make it function. You did a great job.
Safety was key, but our thing was we had even if it was from 20 feet away or 30 feet away, if you can look at each other and have that eye contact and no lag, no internet lag.
Unlike apparently this stream right now, we're apparently lagging.
Oops.
Oopsie. I mean, is this the critter hug of death? Is that, I don't know what's going on.
It's a labeled thing, yeah. I see.
I'm sorry, chat pod, if there's an issue. It's like, oh yeah, and now you guys disappeared from here. Oh, there's definitely a lag. Okay. Oh, and now you guys just moved too. Oh, we're not as smooth as you guys when you do Critical Role. That is for sure. We're still learning.
You're doing great, though. You're doing great.
Oh my God. Well, I have to say, I mean, I know that I've messaged you guys this before, but just to be able to say it to your faces, thank you so much. I mean, I know you've been fans of Bootie LA, and obviously I've DJ'd for you guys. DJ Airson DJ'd your wedding, and so then to suddenly make this huge pivot, and it's like, oh, two fans actually have this huge popular show here on Twitch on the platform we're trying to pivot to. That was it was very much appreciated.
No, we gotta look out for our fellow Twitch siblings, our Twitch cousins.
Yeah, and we were so green. I mean, it was like just kind of like had no idea what we're doing, and it's like, so it's been really, and I have to say, the community here on Twitch, and I know you guys probably feel this too. It's like I see, the fan art and stuff that you do, and the and all the like different shout outs and things. It's like the community here is not the Twitch community that I was warned about. Like, what's you guys have such a great audience.
I think we're very proud of the community we've cultivated. When you have humanity in general, you're going to have an element sometimes, depending on where you go, a large element of shitty people. That's just kind of the nature of how things work
humans.
Out. Exactly. Yeah. But this community, while it's not, free of such trappings in some places, majority wise, very proud of the good people and promoting the idea of being good people to each other. And I'm really proud of the community that we've cultivated so far. So happy to bring it and kind of fold it in with the Bootie community.
With the Bootie. Because here's the thing with the critters in the Bootie community, and why there's such a great crossover is because they're so warm and welcoming and diverse, and all walks of life are welcome. And anyone who's not like that, the community sniffs that bullshit out and is like, nah. So it's an ecosystem that kind of continues to cultivate this amazing positive vibe. It's great. And so I think that's why they work so well together.
It's part of the reason I started going to Bootie in general, which was, I think it was back in 2009 was my first time going.
Oh, yeah. So it would have been at when we were at Echoplex.
Echoplex, yeah, exactly.
Yes, Echoplex.
I know.
I miss it so.
Oh, fuck you, Live Nation, for buying that place.
Straight up.
It was the perfect venue.
I know.
Because here's the thing, you guys. For those of you who don't know about the Echoplex, it was this big kind of open, basementy vibe to it. It's got this kind of underground vibe, and people would dance and sweat so much in Bootie that the water cycle would start to happen inside. And by midnight, you'd start getting these drips of water on your face, and you realize that it was just the moisture
of humanity.
It's raining indoors.
Yep. But to that point, one of the reasons I went to Bootie was because outside of a handful of goth clubs, most of the Los Angeles club scene is awful. It is bullshit. I'm not a club person because of that. And maybe the Abbey and a few other the more LGBTQ.
Yeah, you like the gays and the goths.
Exactly.
I can. I mean, same here.
But somebody going not only is Bootie a place where the music is fantastic and the energy is great, but it is a place where everyone is welcome, no matter where you come from, to just have a good time. It's not the meat market. It's not people trying to hook up and, you know, this weird social paradigm. It was just people there to express themselves, dance like nobody's watching, and have a good time.
I mean, if you want to find people to hook up,
you could definitely do that.
You know,
but it's not. You know what I mean? It's less of the classic LA, you know, club of like, oh hey, what's going on, girl?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I think having, I want to shout out to the Dance Commander Disco, which is literally an offshoot of Raid, Random Acts at Irreverent Dance, our dance crew on the stage. And I know, Marisha, you actually had them on Signal Boost. And I think that seeing a dance crew on stage that you talk about that typical LA thing of, you know, like perfect, you know what I mean? Like the perfect go-go dancer body and like this whole look. And meanwhile, Raid is like all shapes and sizes, all genders, crazy costumes. And I think that helps that whole vibe of like, oh, this is anything goes. And it's not that typical kind of Hollywood club. I mean, we're on the east side too. So that definitely helps. For those who don't live in LA, there's definitely a west side, east side divide. So much that I sometimes I feel like I need a passport just to go to the west side of LA.
You're not wrong. We haven't been there in a while for that reason.
Traffic.
But no, Raid's been incredible since day one. And you're right, it's totally part of that experience of seeing so many people from all across the spectrum of humanity that the minute you walk in, not only is the music great, but you're like, everyone's welcome here. I'm welcome here. Let's go ahead and have a good time.
Yeah, it definitely gives you permission, because we've brought so many people to Bootie who are like, I don't dance. That's not my thing. I'll go, I'll have a few drinks, and then I'm probably going to peace out. Cut to midnight. And it's always that person who's in the front row just like...
Yep,
just
straight up.
Drenched in sweat.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
No one can resist the siren's call that is Bootie.
Well, which is so weird. It's like, it's just mashups, you know? It's literally, and I've had to try to like reverse engineer, like, okay, what is it that makes this work? And I think there's like this unpretentious quality of like taking, you know, different genres and, you know, just being merciless with it, you know? And the thing I have not quite figured out is, how is this crossover between a Dungeons and Dragons crowd and a mashup crowd? Like, I love that it worked, but I'm still sort of like, wait a minute, how, like, where, like, how does D&D play in with mashup culture?
I feel it's that escapism, you know? It's that Bootie kind of allows you to be this other person. You can get dressed in this costume. You can come and be this persona. You can wear the clothes that you feel truly embody and express yourself. And in a way that's not too dissimilar to the escapism that you can get by being this avatar in Dungeons and Dragons.
True, yeah.
So, you know, and I think it kind of goes back to all of the fringe communities, all of us misfits, you know, everyone is welcome in this safe space. And I mean, we've seen so many critters reach out to us and be like, same thing. Like, I don't really enjoy clubs, but with the way that Bootie is now in this virtual space in Twitch, and it has allowed people the freedom to enjoy it and dance in the comfort of their living rooms. I think that also might open up certain avenues for people who might have had boundaries before or just not felt comfortable in jumping into those spaces.
Yeah.
And that's a point to Bootie as well. Like to kind of, and there's no answer to your question, because we're, like you said, we're figuring it out too. It's,
different for everyone. Yeah.
But I think there's an aspect of mashups and mashup culture that not only has been very inclusive, but mashups are a combination of occasionally like taking some elements of nostalgia and completely shifting it in a way that you weren't expecting with something that maybe you weren't aware of. I know that mashups have helped me discover a lot of music that normally I wouldn't have been exposed to. And I've come to appreciate a lot of songs that otherwise I would not have probably had come into my peripheral, or conversely, a lot of pop songs that drove me crazy, that once they were mashed up, I realized this is really good when it's put in the hands of somebody that knows how to fuck it up in the right way.
Right. Yeah, and you realize Head Like a Hole by Nine Inch Nails is actually the perfect pop song. And that's why there's so many of them. So many mashups.
Yeah. And in a similar way, role-playing games, it's taking the classic tropes and genre aspects of expected media that you see written in film and television, and then fucking it up and making it weird and different and direct to just you and your friends at the table. There is an aspect of that kind of, I don't know what's going to happen next. Everything's just kind of weird and amorphous and being created as it happens that I kind of love.
Yeah, that's cool too. Yeah, that's a cool comparison.
And the whole making it up as we go along too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely appreciate the whole crossover. I mean, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. I was a huge D&Der, like from age, I was the kids in Stranger Things, like 13, 14, 15 years old. I mean, it's like I've got the,
Yes! Holy shit!
I might have DM'd a few times. But I have to say, I look at this now, like all the, oh my God, so much math. There's so much math in Dungeons and Dragons. I forget
It's gotten better.
It's so much better.
So much better.
The RPGs that are out there and available are so much those older editions. One of these days, we'll actually see each other face to face again. We'll have to run a game for it.
Oh my God, I would love to. I mean, I have, it's like, this is, we all know I'm 851 years old, but yeah, like these old, the original,
Hell yeah.
And this, okay, I will say this, the Monster Manual, I flipped through this recently. This is where mashup culture and D&D really combines. It's like all these sort of like half this, half that monsters. Yeah. It's like...
Yeah, it's like mythology, but a less creative expansion on it. In the actual Monster Manual, like how can we just put things together in a way that is less creative than the skill required for actual mashups?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, and these have been sitting in a box, these books, because destined for eBay, and now I'm kind of like, you guys have sort of like gotten me a little D&D curious again. It's been years since I've played, and now I'm like, I'd like to jump in on a game. I mean, I literally wrote a term paper in the 10th grade about how role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons are actually really helpful for self-actualization and self-improvement.
100%. You wrote that in the 10th grade?
Yeah, I need to dig it up. I know I definitely still have it. Especially, I mean, I look back at it now and I'm like, okay, so I am who I am now. But I look back at my character. My character had a female name. My character was very androgynous. And it was like all these sort of little telltale signs of like my transgender history that I was working subconsciously all within a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Absolutely.
We talked about this quite a bit, and you're kind of ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're ahead of your time.
Because there's been a lot of conversations, both like from psychological studies, sociological studies, about how role-playing games are a safe space for people to explore aspects of themselves that society-wise and culturally feel like they don't have the opportunity to. And it's a space for you to go ahead and explore who it is you want to be, the kind of things about yourself that you want to, ascribe to do, and the person that you inside know is really who you are. And in recent years, as role-playing games have blown up again, we've seen a lot of people use it as a way to understand who they are as a person from like a sexual orientation, as a gender standpoint, from just what it is that makes them happy when they step into those shoes and realize this is the person that I was meant to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're ahead of the curve on that one.
Crazy. Well, and I always think of like the Oscar Wilde quote, "You are who you pretend to be." And eventually, like if that who you're pretending to be is often who you really are, So, and role-playing games obviously just, help facilitate that, and they're fun. Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. It's so powerful. But yeah, I mean, the critter, I must talk about it like every panel because I love it so much. The therapeutic aspects of Dungeons and Dragons, and you've seen so many like special needs teachers bring it into their classrooms for kids who might have social disorders to help them work through that, because it really is like space to practice certain social encounters and to role play life. And so, yeah, I'm fascinated, and I'm super here for all of the benefit and just mental therapy that you can get from D&D.
It's such a far cry from what D&D's reputation was, like, say, in the 80s, when it was like, you were a Satanist if you played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing about it now too. Like, sure, it's a game. It's owned by a company and that whole scenario. But the experiences, the stories that you tell at the table are still inherently yours.
Yeah.
So no matter what the connotation of what people in the world think of it's Satanist or it's, evil, or people that, within, corporate structures that misuse elements of it, these stories are still our own to tell. And it's between you and your friends at the table and the dice that you roll and the experiences you have. And that's what's most important. And I think it's even just beginning now. There's been more studies and more people that are putting attention towards the therapeutic elements of role-playing games and what that allows, to what Marisha was saying there. And we're just excited to be a part of this crazy community and happy they listen to us somehow on occasion.
I mean, it's, nice work if you can get it, right? I am actually so... I realized something as I was watching Critical Role yesterday and kind of like did a little Wikipedia deep dive on like how did this happen? And I understand that in much the same way that Bootie Mashup was literally kind of created in our living room, just like we love mashups here, like listen, and just like throwing a party in our living room at home for our friends and then taking it out into the real world. I mean, your show started off as literally a game at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were playing for maybe like 2.5 years beforehand with some other voice actor friends of ours that, for the large part, hadn't played before. And I'll say this, like Ashley, Laura, Travis, these are people, even Sam, people that I didn't have much of a friendship with until we started playing. We knew each other. We worked together.
We were acquaintances.
We were acquaintances, but it wasn't until we were
good acquaintances.
Yeah. But it wasn't until we were at that table rolling dice and telling stories together that we became family.
Yeah.
And that was so wonderful and bonded us so strongly. And then when the opportunity came to bring it to people outside of our circle, it was very much like a defensive response originally. Like, I don't want to subject this to the dangers of the outside world.
Right.
As you mentioned at the top of this, internet can be scary. Twitch can be scary.
Yeah.
We were like, no, we're going to be torn apart.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's your baby in a way, it's
Absolutely.
like it's something you feel so passionate about, you have championed, and then you like bring it out to the wider world. It's like it was really it was gratifying, and then also just sort of like just really interesting to read the genesis of Critical Role and kind of relate it to like, oh yeah, this is like, that is such a wonderful thing that happens rarely, to have a creative endeavor that you do literally for the fun of it. And then I guess what I'm saying is I appreciate your entrepreneurial spirit as someone who has turned.
I was going to say, hats off to you.
Well, I mean, it's like,
to you.
I already warned you guys. This might just be a mutual admiration, kind of meeting. But
no, it's little, and I'm probably speaking out of turn here, but like, it's funny for like how many years, like years ago, whenever we'd be at a Bootie event and you'd be DJing, you'd be like,
oh my god,
it's Adriana. How do we go ahead and like oh my god, I don't want to be weird about this. We're a huge fan of hers.
Yeah. And our best friends, Brittany, Wallach, and Matt Key, of course, same thing. We'd be like, Adriana is DJing. We got to run up to the front and just like tell her we love her. And just
we're super fangirls.
Matt Key is like the ultimate fangirl, and I adore him. I mean, I really think he was the one who sort of broke the ice a little bit, because I would sort of see your little crew together and stuff, and then it was like you start to recognize familiar faces, and so I was like, hey, you guys.
Well, Mackie will talk to anybody. We'll be like, no, she's too good for us. We can't burden her with our presence. And he'll be like, just say hi. Be nice. It's great.
Thanks,
so,
he's right, So I have a question. I know we're all sort of like, right now we're missing Comic-Con. In a few weeks, we're all going to be having that missing Burning Man feeling, and we're going to be doing like a whole week of Burning Man type live streams. I'm going to be doing a Death Guild Thunderdome set, but
nice!
on Twitch.
Oh, I love it.
For viewers who don't know, the Thunderdome is literally like Mad Max Thunderdome. 2 men enter, or 2 people enter. It's not one person leaves, but one person is declared the winner, and literally they're strapped up to bungees with big foam bats, and they swing around and beat each other. Usually with a goth industrial, really aggro soundtrack. And we got invited several years ago to do a mashup set there. So it was like a little, as you know, we are into the troll. It's like, okay, we're gonna play that like really hardcore industrial rock song, but with like my milkshake brings
Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, or something like Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time," appropriate of course with Thunderdome. So we're gonna do that on this channel. But the reason I was just I just did a little mini road trip in my RV, which is a Burning Man RV, and I was staring at the wall, and there's all these post-nuclear family stickers. I think Jason, Sensitron Jason, gave me a bunch of stickers, and I just plopped them all up, and I saw this one that was like Adventure Night 2016 or something like that. And I'm like, I want to know what Adventure Night was. That sounds like fun. Like, I want to be in the camp that has an organized adventure night, and now, especially that I know, oh, well, all these D&D people are in that camp. What the hell is adventure night?
So Adventure Night was one of the gifts that I would bring every year. A big part of Burning Man's cultural experience is a gifting society. You want to bring things to give to other people, and it's very much about providing for each other.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a material object. It can be an experience.
Exactly.
It can be a shoulder to cry on. It can be chapstick, Advil. It can be anything.
Whatever you need.
I socks are the best playa gift.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But years ago, I decided that storytelling was a skill that I wanted to go ahead and bring there and give people with that. So I began going out there and creating an adventure night experience on Tuesday, where I would go around the day before and find a bunch of the art installations that existed out there on the playa, both on the Esplanade and Deep Playa. And based on the art installations, I would build a story. I would build a narrative, seeing what connections there were, and eventually to kind of have a whole night's adventure story planned out. And so then on Adventure Night, friends of ours, people in our camp would show up in different costumes, and it didn't matter the genre. They could be high fantasy Lord of the Rings characters. They could be futuristic cyberpunk. They could be whatever weird amalgam of any sort of weird genre they had. But they all met. They all introduced their character. It was kind of like tricking people into LARPing on the Playa,
right,
essentially.
Yeah. It was half LARP, half glorified art tour.
Art tour,
okay.
yeah. And so we went around from art installation to art installation, but with a story and a reason for going to these art pieces. Sometimes without warning to the people that were actually watching these installations, and all of a sudden we'd have anywhere from 50 to 100 people in weird costumes showing up and interfacing with them and talking to them in character and trying to figure out mysteries. I'd seed things with certain creators, and then throughout the night we'd build a story. And then we'd finish at the end of the night and just party and have a good time.
And
it was a lot of fun.
Okay. Yep. I wasn't wrong. Yeah. I do want to be part of Adventure Night.
well, to that point, we had one time where the story that year was this ancient entity that was called the Snake Queen. This
I do it.
Yeah. This godlike creature that existed eons before, but her evil had grown so strong and people couldn't see it that they cast her. They couldn't kill her, so they broke in multiple pieces. And so the adventure that night was finding art installations that represented different parts of her. So there was a beating mechanical heart that was the heart of the Snake Queen. There was, all these different parts that were part of her body in space. And then it ended with this giant Medusa head, which I don't know if you remember. Yeah. Where all the snakes and when I say giant, I mean it was 30-foot radius,
the size of a house.
Metal welded. Yeah, it was huge. Yeah, it was a little larger than that. And all the snakes breathed fire and had this digital Medusa face in the front. And so the end of the evening was us going and destroying this Snake Queen. But as we showed up to attack it, some dude who was probably tweaked out on something rushed in front of her face and went no, you please stop. You're destroying my lover. And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, I've loved her for so long. We're like, what, for the eons since she's threatened the universe? He goes, yes. Are you saying that your love for her could keep at bay the evil that she represents to this universe? And he went, of course.
Then we were like, prove it. Make out with her.
And then he went, yes. And he started just full-on making out with this gargantuan metallic Medusa art sculpture, and it was beautiful and the best end to it.
Yeah, and love wins.
Yeah, total plot twist.
Yeah. Half the fun of the night is going to these different places and Esplanade installations and art installations where people aren't expecting it, and then having people either be weirded out by it, or even better, people begin to interact and become part of it, and like inviting them into the story. Yeah. And more often than not, people begin to follow us.
Gather.
And the group begins to grow and grow throughout the night as people are like, what is this thing that's happening?
That was always my favorite. The people that were like, this is cool. Can we tag along with you guys? And we're like, totally.
Yeah, come on. Why not?
But of course, always in character. Like, of course, my fair maiden.
Oh my God. That is, no, you know what? That's not true. I was going to say I've never LARPed at Burning Man or done anything like that. But actually, that's not true. My best friend, Yaya, she and I, after we'd been going to Burning Man for years and years and years, sort of stumbled into these characters, Ashley and Amber. And it was Ashley and Amber's very first Burning Man. And oh my God, we are going to see all the cool shit. And we were like, you were
LARPing as Spartan ponies?
I mean, I've been going to Burning Man since 1993. I was jaded at that time. I think that was the first step to being post-jaded, and like just learning to have fun at Burning Man again was getting into the mindset of someone who is at Burning Man for the very first time and having their mind blown. And Ashley and Amber. Ashley Summer and Amber, I forget what their names were, but yeah, and it kept happening like over the years, like they mutated these characters, and like by year 3, Ashley and Amber were kind of like getting a little like too cool. Like the burning, the people who've been going to Burning Man longer than you have and have an attitude about it. And my character started like hanging out with the Thunderdome people.
Right. You're actually invited on Robot Heart.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Although even Robot Heart's come around now. Even they're kind of left in the dust.
Oh, God. Cool. Yeah. Oh, God. Now you're really making me miss Burning Man now.
I know. I'm sorry.
2021 is going to be our year. I can feel it.
It better.
But I have to say, the other thing that has been crazy is as bad as this year has been, and I know it's been rough for all of us. And I read your tweets. I know, and it's yet at the same time, because we're all have this collective experience of, being cooped up in our houses, and I'm making connections in ways that I have not done in years. And there's like such a community and like an online community. And I know you guys, having your business be on Twitch, are so familiar with like such the depth of that online community. I throw my parties in real life, and I'm just new to this whole like kind of like online community building. And I have to say, it has been, no exaggeration, a lifesaver, as far as mental health is concerned. And it's like, how are you guys doing? I know now that you've got like Critical Role up and running again, it's got to be like feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
This year's been a lot. But being up and running again, you think like Critical Role, it's a show they make as part of their business. That is the ancillary third part of it. It is the part of every week that we as friends look forward to connect with each other and play. And for those few hours, escape from all the rest of the challenges and responsibilities that we have that weigh us down. And that has become even more prominent in the past few months as this whole pandemic has carried on. And so getting our show up and running again was, on one hand, like an important business decision. But more than that, it was us missing each other so much and needing that moment of connection with each other to go ahead and do this again for our own mental health, for our own happiness and well-being. And online communities have continuously reflected that. It's one of the few places where when, clubs and social spaces that require physical, attendance to create something that's memorable disappear, what other venues do you have? And so it's in this online space where not only can you create something like that, but something that can touch people across the world, not even just locally, but everywhere in the world. And watching so many people around the world connect with and understand why Bootie Mashup and what you and all the amazing DJs and creators do all over the world has been just absolutely fascinating and wonderful.
It has been eye-opening and exciting and nerve-wracking, but yeah, like being able to expand, but without actually leaving our houses. And weirdly, not throwing a party every week has given us the time to kind of like do that. And yeah, it's like Twitch was not like, you know, I remember we actually DJ'd a couple of Twitch parties, like Twitch corporate parties. I like 2014, 2015. And I remember a couple of email exchanges. I went and looked them up after like we were on a month on Twitch. And I was like, I think we DJ'd a Twitch party. And even they didn't really quite know how to like integrate like DJs and stuff. They're like, yeah, we'll have our music people talk to you. And nothing ever came of it because it's such a gamer platform.
Yeah.
Twitch not knowing how to integrate things that are important?
But it's yeah, look, we're all still making this up as we go along, right? And online communities and platforms mutate and change, so it's like it's going to be interesting to see like how much longer the corona apocalypse lasts and how culture changes because of it, you know.
No doubt.
No doubt. I'm looking forward to throwing a party again, but at the same time, I'm one of these people who's been very, very, you know, good about not being in like public spaces around a crowd. And I'm sure it's just going to be one of these weird, like, oh my God, I'm in a club again. How do I act?
I know. Yes. Yeah. Well, I've been asking that so much because like we're clearly doing just the sediment layers of trauma to ourselves this entire year. So when we go back, it's not going to be like snap and we're back. It's going to be a thing to navigate.
Yeah.
I think trauma is the key word. Like as much as we look at it from a social experience, and not to bring this down for a moment, but like all of this is a trauma. We are all collectively, culturally, worldwide, but definitely America, because we have a lot of people that don't listen to science and facts. We are experiencing some level of trauma that is just going to continue for a while. And once that's done, once this experience begins to turn in the other way, it's going to be us together as a community, both not just a mashup community, a critter community, but as a human American and worldwide community, unpacking that trauma together. And I think it's important that as we go into that we understand that everyone's going to be a little raw. Everyone's going to have their own journey to take, and just be open to and sensitive to that, and be open to our own, you know, fucked up experiences and processing, and be open to letting other people help us through that trauma as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. You keep saying experience, and I keep wanting to, in my head, I keep hearing experiment, because this is a crazy cultural experiment of like humanity and how, you know, and it's, you know, the experiments don't always work out the way you think. I'm a little surprised. You know, if you would have told me 20 years ago that we'd be fighting the great mask war of 2020. Right. Just wear a mask. God, if it's uncomfortable, find one. I was like, anyway. It's frustrating. But
well, if I could just, you know, gush on you for a second. I am so stoked and proud to see the way that Bootie has pivoted so quickly and so efficiently. And then and being there in those like first weeks that you guys were on Twitch and seeing like 20 people in the room, 30 people, and then to see every week the tech getting better and the viewers increasing, and then the amazing Dance Commander dance room, and then you have like staples in the Dance Commander dance room, like we call them inspirational Cthulhu.
Oh, Cthulhu. Yeah, I love Cthulhu. Yes.
Just giving positive affirmations out there. Yeah, it's just been amazing to see this journey go, pretty quickly, all things considered.
Yeah,
of this community. Yeah,
it's been a ride. Thank you for that. And as people ask all the time, it's like, are you guys going to keep doing this after the Corona apocalypse is over? And I'm kind of like, I think this might just be the new Bootie Mashup, where, you know, instead of being like, okay, we're a party that, you know, also has a website and maybe does a few online things, we're mostly an online thing.
Sure.
That occasionally has a real life party.
Yeah. I mean, hey, have Stream Deck will travel.
Yeah.
You know, you can stream from anywhere. Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
We've streamed out of some old ass fucking theaters, you guys. So you got internet, you got a Stream Deck, you got a laptop.
Yeah, the Stream Deck's the hardware device. You can it's basically like a camera switcher thing, right?
Yeah. Switcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. We'll get there. But
you get little tiny ones that have got like 6 buttons, 9 buttons on it. It's like, you know, just enough to do little things, but yeah.
Well, what's been interesting on this channel is every DJ has sort of brought something different to the table. We all learned at the same time. We've got like this epic Facebook chat that just never ends. You know, people are always, chiming in with new things. And for a while, it was like keeping up with the Joneses. Like, you know, DJ Time got a green screen. I need a green screen, you know, which is not working all that well today because Rogue is a lot. There's a lot of green in this outfit. And I was like, Rogue has the headband, but I can't look. I can't wear the headband. Oh, anyway. Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming onto the show, and more importantly, thank you so much for introducing your community to us. And you know, it's always, it's just it's just a story that just never gets old. Of like, oh yeah, I had these people who, you know, I see at Burning Man and, you know, I see at Bootie LA. I had no idea you guys had a huge Twitch channel.
To be fair,
that's good.
We're still adjusting to that too. You're not like, we've known you longer than we've had a Twitch channel, so it's been its own unique experience where every few weeks we're like, it makes no sense that this exists. It does, but we're appreciative.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if it's anything like Bootie Mashup, it's like when something goes right, then it's like a little bit of reverse engineering, so you can keep doing it right. You know? Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for everything you guys do. Everyone in the Mashup community does such incredible work, and
it's been 10 years of joy for us.
Thank you.
So that's why we are so readily excited to share it, because it's brought us so much joy and so much, just like, I mean, some of the best memory. There's a reason why we had DJ Erson DJ our wedding, is because we were like, we just want our wedding to be Bootie. We would just get married at Bootie.
I'm so mad I couldn't do it. I'm now like kicking myself. I was like, why couldn't I have done that? That was
I think you were in like Germany. I think you were
actually
visiting.
I was supposed to be in Germany, and then as it turned out, I wasn't. But Erson was already booked, so I didn't want to take. But I was still doing something geeky. I was actually in Portland for the retro gaming convention.
Erson was incredible. They're amazing. So do not worry.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I missed that. I'm gonna miss you guys at Comic-Con and at Burning Man, but hopefully we will interface in real life. And if not anytime soon, we'll always have Twitch.
Indeed.
We'll see you all tonight.
Right.
Hell yeah!
Thanks, guys, for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Bye. Love you.
All right, everybody. That is Matthew, Mercer and Marisha Ray from Critical Role. Such a joy to have them on the show. Especially, you know, I didn't quite know their history with Bootie Mashup. I mean, I knew that they came to the LA parties, but didn't quite know it was like 10 years. So that's crazy. So I just want to announce we've got so much going on this weekend. It's going to be myself DJing here in just a couple minutes. And then after myself, it's going to be DJ Time. And then tomorrow, we've got Mashups Rock with DJ and Nate. And then Jupiter Gatling from Berlin. You all know her as the otaku, anime-loving, DJ in our crew. She is doing at least 6 hours all on Saturday. Who knows? It might be longer. I know she's waking up at her set starts at 4 a.m. German time, but she's going to be here for us tomorrow night doing apparently a 100% geek flavored mashup set. So we're going to see. And just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us on the channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. And we're here every week, and yeah, we are not going to stop. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. We've been loving being here on Twitch. It's been I wasn't exaggerating when I said it was a lifesaver. I was going mad, and this all came together, and it's brought my own community closer together too, just like a lot of communities, just like the critter community. And so it's been a blast. All right. Are you guys ready to get your dance on? Are we ready to? I'm going to switch things over, and we are going to start. It's going to be just like Comic-Con at home. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Switch.